Today, over 24 million Asian Americans live in the United States. Doctors, engineers, business owners, senators. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Who opened the door? Because 70 years ago, that door was locked, bolted shut, and the people who broke it open weren't Asian, they were black. This is that story. In 1882, Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act, the only law in American history to ban an entire nationality from entering the country. It didn't stop there. The Immigration Act of 1917 barred most of Asia entirely. By 1924, the quota system was zero. Zero immigration from China, Japan, India, Korea, the Philippines. And the Asians already here? They couldn't own land, couldn't become citizens, couldn't vote. In 1942, over 120,000 Japanese Americans, most of them U.S. citizens, were rounded up and sent to internment camps. No trial, no charges. The door wasn't just closed, it was sealed. December 1st, 1955. Rosa Parks refuses to give up her seat. What followed was 381 days of sacrifice, until the Supreme Court ruled bus segregation unconstitutional. The movement spread. Sit-ins, freedom rides, marches, fire hoses on national television. Black Americans were forcing this country to look at itself, and what it saw was ugly enough to produce change. On July 2nd, 1964, President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act into law. It banned discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Black Americans fought for this, bled for this, died for this. But look at those words. National origin. That wasn't just Black America protected. That was every Chinese worker turned away from a job. Every Japanese family denied housing. All of it illegal, overnight. The movement had passed a law that protected people it wasn't even primarily thinking about. That's how big the moral argument was. But the biggest gift was still coming. By 1965, the moral weight of the civil rights movement had shifted everything. A country that just watched peaceful marchers get beaten on the Edmund Pettus Bridge couldn't defend racist immigration law. President Johnson signed the Immigration and Nationality Act, abolishing the racial quota system entirely. Countries that had been effectively banned were now treated equally. The law's supporters said it wouldn't change much. They were spectacularly wrong. The Asian American population went from under 1 million to over 24 million. Every single one of those families is here because Black Americans made this country reckon with its own hypocrisy. Without the civil rights movement, that law doesn't pass. Now, here's the uncomfortable part. In 1966, magazine articles started celebrating Asian Americans as the model minority, people who succeeded without protest, without demanding anything. The message was clear. Look at the Asians. They didn't march. So why are Black Americans still complaining? It was a deliberate tool, taking Asian American success, which only existed because of Black civil rights, and using it as a weapon against the very movement that made it possible. It was a lie then. It's a lie now. So the next time someone tells you the civil rights movement was just a Black issue, you tell them this story. Tell them about the 24 million. Tell them about the locked door. And tell them who held the key. The Black civil rights movement didn't just free Black America, it reshaped the moral architecture of this entire country. And every group that benefited from that owes a debt to the people who built it. That debt doesn't expire. If you learned something today, share this video, subscribe. The full story of Black impact goes deeper than most people know.